Joining us now to talk all things Wildcats is Northwestern head coach David Braun. Coach, great to see you. Last time we were chatting, we were both freezing our butts off at Wrigley Field. How have you been since then?
We're doing well. You know, got a humble group, a hungry group. Excited about some of the strides that we made over December and January. Great to get our early enrollees on campus and some of our transfers. But the off-season workouts have been going great.
Awesome. Well, good to hear. Before we look ahead more to 2025, I want to put a bow on the 2024 season. Mentioned you and I were together on the sidelines for that Wrigley Field matchup against Illinois, but this was a team that maybe didn't get the results they wanted, but they never stopped fighting. They always stayed together. As you've now had some time to process 2024, what do you take away from the season that was?
Yeah, we just got a lot of work to do. I mean, it starts with self-reflection of the job I did, and there's a lot of things I got to do a better job of, and just coaching our football team and as a staff reflecting on areas that we need to improve. But proud of the way that our guys battled. But it was a frustrating 2024 campaign, and the expectations that we have for this program are awfully lofty. And the thing that I give our leadership a lot of credit on is they're humble, they're hungry. They've really attacked this off season. Great exit meetings coming out of the season on areas that we all know that we need to improve collectively and individually. But the way that the leadership on this football team has stepped up and set the tone for this off season going into spring ball is something that I know all of us are really excited about.
You brought up the leadership, and one of the positives you take away from 2024 is that you bring back both your defensive and offensive coordinators. I know especially for Zach Lujan, there was a learning curve being brand new to the conference, brand new to Northwestern. As you guys put your heads together, how do you feel like that consistency will help this group moving ahead into 2025?
Yeah. Just as we even approach spring ball, I mean, it's a totally different conversation going into your second spring ball in terms of where you're at offensively. And opportunities for us to evaluate everything in terms of where we need to continue to improve from a personnel standpoint, where we need to improve from a coaching and teaching standpoint, where we can streamline things, and areas that we feel like we can find advantage. It's one thing to say these are things that we're comfortable with, but based on the personnel and our guys' strengths, where do we need to make adjustments in terms of the way that we're constructing the offense to put our guys in situations to be successful on game day. And that's what becomes really exciting about February is December and January. So much of your time is consumed in the recruiting space. We got our staff together. New running backs coach are starting to dive into cut-ups and identifying, areas where we really fell short, areas where we did things well last year, and, really making sure that we put a great plan together for spring ball on things that we need to be building off of as we approach fall camp.
Well, I can't believe that February is here and that we're talking about National Signing Day. But as you look at your 2025 recruiting class, what excites you the most, and what is this group bringing to the Wildcats?
Yeah, no, I think you got a group that first off and foremost is really passionate about the game of football. We talk about that all the time. We want football-driven individuals that understand what it's going to take to win in the Big Ten, that also value the opportunity that exists here at Northwestern in terms of the student-athlete experience and the value of a Northwestern degree. But you got a lot of guys in this class that were committed to the Cats for a long, long time, and they understand the opportunity that exists here. They understand the excitement that's building around this program with the new Ryan Field on the way. All of college football navigating a new landscape, but at the end of the day, prioritize their decision based on feeling that they could be developed to their fullest potential here at Northwestern and earn a Northwestern degree along the way. I'm really excited about the O-line group and the D-line group that we have coming in this class. Some of our early enrollees have already started to really show flashes of a willingness to compete and understanding what it's going to look like to compete for opportunities to get on the field early. And just impressed with the overall maturity of this group and a desire to show up ready to go and finding ways to contribute to this 2025 team.
Since you brought up your excitement around the defensive line, I do want to ask you about defensive lineman Mason Maine out of Lawton, Michigan, a 4-star recruit you're bringing in. What stuck out when you watched his tape and got to watch him play in person?
Yeah, where Mason really caught our eye, it was, as a rising junior, came to camp and just, someone that we were aware that he was at camp and we were certainly going to evaluate. But I mean, he just stood out. I mean, all of a sudden, Coach Smith is over there coaching. I'm over there. Coach McGarvey comes over. I mean, he just really stood out, and obviously a certain skill set, strength, explosiveness, really good feet. But his competitiveness, his toughness, his willingness to be coached, all things that really stood out to us. And something we pride ourselves on here is not being concerned about other people's evaluations. We were able to make a decision early in the process with Mason. Coach Smith and our staff did a great job of building relationships with him, and just really excited about him being able to arrive on campus, continue to develop under Coach Smith, and it is just really, since his decision to commit, has been all in. And again, a credit to his willingness to come to camp and compete. That's really where he earned his scholarship.
Awesome. Well, I know a lot of fans probably want to know about the quarterback position. Obviously, to no surprise, you bring back Jack Lausch, but you also add SMU transfer Preston Stone, who does have quite a bit of collegiate experience. Just kind of curious, what is your assessment of that quarterback position as you look ahead to spring ball?
I'm really excited about the depth in that room. I mean, between, Jack coming back off of 10 starts last year, Preston Stone's experience at SMU, the development of Ryan Bowe. But the things that really stood out to us in terms of Preston, the season that he had at SMU in 2023 was so impressive. Players were commenting on the quality of, quarterback that he was, the quality competitor. And, from the second that he stepped on campus, we knew he'd be a great fit in the quarterback room, a great fit with our offense, a great, fit within our team, and just really excited about not only the talent, but the leadership qualities that exist in that room right now between Preston Stone, Jack Lausch, the development of Ryan Bowe. Lot to be excited about around the quarterback position.
Can't wait to see what Stone can do. But while we're on the topic of quarterbacks, I have to ask about Jack Lausch officially joining the Northwestern baseball team, Coach. Now, in covering the team, I know we talked a lot about the fact that he was actually recruited more for baseball out of high school than football. How did that conversation go?
Yeah, Jack, Jack and I had this conversation this time last year. Coach Greenspan's been great. The three of us collaborating on what this opportunity might look like. And Jack opted, last spring to just focus on spring ball for football. As this offseason hit, we had further conversations, and Jack made the decision that, we wanted to give baseball a go. And I'm really excited for Jack. I mean, I told Jack this. If you take 100 young men that wanted to pursue an opportunity to play two sports in the Big Ten, there's very few that could ever do that effectively. But Jack's one of one, just in terms of his work ethic, his attention to detail, his competitiveness, and his discipline. And Jack possesses all the tangibles and the intangibles to do this at a really high level. So excited to see him compete with our baseball team this year, help them win a bunch of games. And to Jack's credit, he's been fully active in all our off-season training for football as well.
I can't imagine what it's like to be a one-sport athlete in the Big Ten, let alone a two-sport athlete in the Big Ten, Coach.
There's no way that I would have been able to balance anything like that. I think it's just a testament and credit to Jack and his, just the discipline that he possesses. And again, a great credit to Coach Greenspan and Jack as well. Just the communication lines between the three of us as he made this decision. I'm just really excited to see Jack compete for the Cats this spring and help the Cats win a bunch of games as he continues to develop as a quarterback within the program as well.
I just think it's awesome to see you support your student athletes in all of their ventures in this way. One thing I wanted to touch on real quick that I don't think it's talked about enough is just the challenges of the transfer portal for a rigorous academic institution like Northwestern. You're on a quarter system. There are some different quirks in terms of the scheduling. And you brought up the early transfer portal in December. How are you able to utilize that? And then how do you try to manage, like I said, just some of the challenges that come with coaching at a caliber school like Northwestern?
Yeah, no, it can be unique and difficult. And to be honest with you, we still have a lot of work to do in that space. but we've made so much progress, and that's a credit to everyone on campus. There's so many people that have been involved, in those conversations to get us to a point where we've been able to bring in, I believe, 7 transfers for the winter quarter that started on January 6th, and another 2 will be joining us in the spring. And there's just so many moving parts that go into that. But, the work that multiple people on our staff and on campus have done to make that happen, we're really excited about the progress that we're making. And it really just starts off with making sure that we're bringing the right young men into our program. Obviously, we're looking for talented football players, but just as importantly, we're looking for guys that are high character, that are tough, that love football, that value the experience here at Northwestern. And we go through a thorough vetting process, and in the transfer portal, that's got to happen in a really short window. But the young men that decided to come here to Northwestern have been so impressed with our leadership on this current team and their willingness to really integrate into the culture that exists here. There's a lot of positive things going on, and again, huge credit to everyone on campus that has been able to really start to find some ways to adapt to the way that the transfer portal landscape works in college football right now.
One thing that stood out, Coach, about spending time around your program is the sense of family and the high-quality individuals that you've been able to bring in to the Wildcats. So kudos to you for that. Real quickly, looking ahead to the 2025 schedule, 5 games back on the lakefront, 2 at Wrigley Field. What are you looking forward to the most?
But we're excited to win a bunch of games at home next year. I mean, if you look back to our 2023 season, so much of the success that we found in 2023 is, we owned our home field, and we're looking forward to bringing that to the lakefront and getting things rolling at Wrigley as well. What an incredible experience to play Big Ten football at such a unique venue. And then also have 2 opportunities to play Big Ten football at Wrigley Field. And, we have to create home field advantage. We have to own our home field. And, it was a great experience this past season to be on the lake, at Martin Stadium. But we're going to have to make sure that we create a home field advantage and own our home turf as we go into the 2025 season.
That has to be one of the most scenic venues in all of college football. Well, Coach Braun, thanks so much for the time. Really appreciate it. Stay warm up there in Evanston.
Thanks, Kylen.